ability to be great. You have to be willing to activate the great from within. It starts with you, and it starts right now. Yo, it's Monday morning with you guys, Tyler Davis and Greg Thomas.
Back at it, man.
Yeah.
It's the best way to get the whole week rolling, the momentum started.
Like a little guidepost, right?
Yeah, man.
You know, and another guidepost for us is like, I would love for you to guide your friends, family, and anybody that's looking for some inspiration our way. Like, subscribe, share. We love you. Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Absolutely. You know, and we're actually coming up on a year on doing this thing, man.
It's crazy, man.
Isn't
Time
it?
flies when you're having fun.
It is, and this thing's evolved, right?
Yes.
It really has. Like, I mean, it's kind of tweaked. I mean, we changed, kind of did a rebranding. We just kind of rolled with it, right? But we didn't make any excuses. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like making it happen. It's just gonna happen. You know, like someone's like, "Hey, are we doing this week?"
Yes.
Yes.
No matter what.
No matter what. Like, I mean, we had a couple times where we got caught with our pants down, you know what I mean? But, like, look, we made the best of it, you know? But that's part of that evolution. You know, trial and error, you learn, and and you grow.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Just really trying to chart that evolution.
Yeah, because all the stuff that we talk about every week, we apply to ourselves. That's the main focus.
I think sometimes it's easy for folks that really aren't that invested or into, like, you know, new things, right? Or, like, open to new things to kind of have this, you know, arm's length viewpoint, like, hey, well, you know, everybody does this, like, we do it too.
Yeah,
we're just talking about it.
Yep.
You know, we're making it real.
We're airing out our laundry, man.
Yeah, dude, we're writing it down. We're sitting here creating this content, writing it down, like, yeah, man, we're having discussions, these things that go back and forth. You and I trade messages, like, hey, how does this hit you? You know what I mean? Let's make sure we're evolving, right? And, you know, kind of today, you know, 3 reasons we should allow people to evolve.
Yeah.
Right? Expect that they have the ability to do it once they're able to part the clouds, whatever that means to them.
Because it's going to hit them at a different time.
It is. But, you know, there's a but in there.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody's trying to evolve.
No.
It's a fine line. You know, like, man, you know, I think people want certain outcomes. You know, everybody wants to shine like a diamond, but they're not ready to get cut.
Yes.
You know,
yeah, 100%. I mean, you have to be willing to do the work and take on the pain in part of the process that comes along with it.
Dude, no question.
You got to be ready for that.
You should look, you know it. You should even, like, be looking forward to the challenge.
That's the big part.
It's a shift. It is a shift in your paradigm, right? I mean, like, I think people, they know certain things, but their normal is way strong.
Yeah.
It's hardwired. And, like, even though they know the way, you know, they know the path, they're not even putting their one foot in front of themselves yet.
Yeah.
They're just not ready, you know. But we have to allow people to evolve. You know, we have to give them the opportunity to do it. We all kind of, you know, it's like there's power questions. Like, you know, we got some stuff coming up here with a mastermind conference. It's going to be great. And it's like one of those questions is like, you know, what would you say to the 20-year-old version of yourself?
Oh, man.
Right?
Oh, wow.
So that's you know, we're not going to answer that right now, but I mean, that's just one of those things that just gets you thinking, gets things percolating in your brain about maybe let's start taking inventory of how far you've come. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Let's ramp it up.
Because you got to use that to fuel.
Well, it's like a warm up, right?
Yeah.
You don't just go in and start, you know, max out on your first set. Get a little warm up and get, you know, make sure everything's flowing good in the universe, you know, of your body, right?
Yeah.
Your muscles and everything. Allowing people to evolve is really absolves you from, like, responsibility to a degree, right? Because, like, you just can't want it for somebody.
No matter how bad.
And no matter how bad I've wanted things for other people, if they don't want that, it doesn't matter.
100%. I mean, it's like the thing, take football, for example.
Right.
The coach can instill the best plays and all that stuff, but if the player doesn't take it upon themselves to instill those values and that self-discipline, it ain't going to happen.
No way. No way. So we're going to dive right in. 3 ways we should allow people to evolve. Number 1, people can and do change for the better.
Yes, they do. I mean,
come on.
My goodness. That's one of those things, like, my own journey has led me to, like, see the best in people.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
and when you start doing that, you give yourself a chance to see the best in yourself.
Yes, 100%.
That's something you could probably really speak to, is just like the paradigm shift that you had, like when you made a lot of changes and just how how the whole world looked differently.
Wild. It's wild. And I'll never forget, there was actually a moment where I remember I was driving down the road and out of the corner of my eye, I noticed this flock of birds flying next to me. And I had this moment where I was like, man, that's beautiful. And all of a sudden it hit me. I was like, That's probably the 100th time that's happened, and I've never noticed it.
100,000th time, right? I mean, you think about, like, you know, just even when you're a kid, like, you never paid attention to, like, the beauties that are around us,
Yes.
right? And it was a mindset.
Perception.
Exactly.
I wasn't ready to see it yet.
If you're in a dark place, you're going to see dark things.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, man.
You know, we want to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? But there's a yeah, but in there.
There
okay?
is.
You know, there's some people, like, the human nature, right, is to manipulate situations, manipulate our own minds, convince ourselves of alternate realities. You know what I mean? So, yes, people can and do change for the better, but the caveat is they got to want it.
They do.
They got to want it.
Yeah.
And you can't have a bunch of other people wanting it for them. They have to want it for themselves, for them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
and that's why we got to be the best example, and hopefully they'll take on some of those same mindsets.
you don't have to be perfect at all these things, you know,
man,
and
progress over perfection.
that's it. Progress over perfection. That's great. I really do love that. You've said that many times. And I think you fall in love with the process to get progress.
Right.
Right? Like, you're committed blindly to this process. Like, this will work. You know, like, you know, when we're sitting here and you're trying to get organized, you know, like, a really good tool, you know, for your own personal growth day in and day out on a micro level is, how's your to-do list look? Mm-hmm. Are you setting that to-do list before the day gets there?
Yep.
Or do you have it scattered around on, you know, 3 different spots where you're trying to organize all this documentation and information?
Then
I
you're
put it here, put it here. Then you're scrambling.
Yep. Tomorrow starts today.
It is, you know, but so you got to want that. You got to do the preparation. You have to put yourself in a position to get better. You know what I mean? And for these things to happen. And if you are willing to fall in love with the process and stay dedicated to something without necessarily knowing all the, you know, what the top of that staircase looks like, you will evolve. Okay, you will change. It will change for the better. And even if you don't know the full definition of what better means yet,
Yep.
you know, maybe it's not done evolving. Maybe it's constantly evolving.
Yeah. The destination will likely change from the time you started.
Right.
Fall in love
But
with the process.
It is. But, you know, it's like we want to be able to put ourselves in a position to kind of have some blind faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, hey, you either want to go to this gathering or you don't. It shouldn't matter who's there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So who's going to go?
Yeah. You'll be there.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So it's just like you think about, you know, well, hey, you all in on your future? Well, who's going to be there? Who knows,
Guess
man?
who you guarantee is going to be there? You will.
Exactly. So again, you know, people can and do change for the better, but they have to want it. You can't want it for them.
No.
Okay? Simple. Number 2, most people have the ability to reflect. They really do, and often do.
Yep.
It's what they do with it. Even if it isn't as instant as some people hope and may never voice it, it does land. You know what I mean? They are reflecting, okay? Whether someone shares that with you or not. It's their process. How do they reflect? How do they look at that? Most people, until it takes a lot of time, assess from I Suck Island.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
Okay? And that's why things never change. That's why you don't see positive evolution.
Yeah.
Keywords, positive evolution. We are evolving. We're either going forwards
Yep.
or we're going backwards.
Oh, yeah. It's our actions and our thoughts and our habits that determine if it's forward momentum or back.
That's
You're
it.
always in motion.
Always in motion.
Yep.
You know, so when you're reflecting and you're thinking about these things, do reflect, do assess. If you think that you're going to have positive evolution by beating yourself up and self-assessing from I Suck Island, you will be talking to a volleyball.
Yeah, because it's when you do that and you say, man, I should have done that better, or I could have done that better. Also take time to say, man, I did that really well.
Oh, yeah.
That went good. I'm proud of that.
Exactly.
It's okay to feel that way. It's like you're not being cocky.
Well, I think if you even catch yourself going backwards at something, that's a win too.
Yeah.
You caught it.
Yeah.
You know, I think people think that you have to do more than that. No, you have to. All you got to do is catch yourself. Get a little sticky pad out and just mark a slash every time you catch yourself. No one has to know what that means.
No.
But you got to do this under the pretense, or choose to do this rather, under the vein of you're either going backwards or forwards with your evolution.
And sometimes it's both. I mean, for myself over these last 11 years since I made big changes in my life, I would say it's been 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But that's always getting me 1 step ahead.
Oh, yeah.
The whole time.
Absolutely. Because, like, look, you're willing to be in the game. You're willing to put yourself in that position to do so.
Yeah.
I think, you know, folks think that they're more fragile than they really are.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
like,
stronger than you think you
You're
are.
way stronger than you think you are. And, like, you're sitting here come up with all the excuses why every day's Groundhog Day. We can do better. We can reflect from good places. We can mess up and have, you know, grace with ourselves.
Yep.
And that kind of is a nice little segue into the third point. So number 2, most people possess the ability to reflect, often do, but really may not know what to do with that reflection or doing it in the most healthy way. Do it in a healthy way. Know that you're going to evolve no matter what.
Yep.
It's either going forwards or backwards. And sometimes you have to go backwards to go forwards, or you have to slow down to speed up.
There it is.
Right? So, but a way that you can do that, number 3, grace is your saving grace.
It is, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, when I started having more grace with myself, because I kind of went to a very stressful, dark place a couple years ago, and I wasn't putting myself in the right spot. I wasn't my number one fan. You know what I mean?
It's easy to do that.
It is. You're picking things apart, you're doing that, had a great conversation with one of my mentors, and he's just like, hey, I've said this before too, I just think, give yourself a little bit of a break, give yourself some grace, and if we can have that with people, but grace is not overlooking things. No. It's not kicking the can down the road. It's not avoiding conversation. That's not grace.
Yeah, it's not saying it's okay to keep doing that.
Oh, absolutely.
But don't beat yourself up or beat somebody else up and make them feel bad for it, or yourself.
Oh, yeah. Well, another thing, too, is acknowledge it.
Yeah. Dang, that happened. So what am I going to learn from it?
I mean, that level of vulnerability to acknowledge that within yourself, that's allowed.
Yep. And for me, the whole progress over perfection thing means because at some point in my journey, I was seeking perfection.
Sure.
And it made me mental. It drove me to a place that was unhealthy.
Well, yeah, because you're picking yourself apart.
Right. Perfection is not obtainable.
No.
Therefore, progress over perfection, it's stay focused on the right activities.
Yeah.
You're going to progress.
We shouldn't even be worried about doing it perfectly. All that is a reason not to do it. You end up finding a way not to do it.
Yep.
All these things that we're talking about here have these caveats to them, okay? The human mind is very clever, okay? And we will convince ourselves of certain things left and right, and it's not real.
No.
You were just sharing that with me.
Yeah.
It's amazing the paradigm shift that you can have, by giving yourself information, right?
Wow.
So when you don't keep yourself on the sidelines by not being a sponge and taking on new information. You could have a massive paradigm shift.
Yeah,
massive.
Instantly.
Oh.
Over 24 hours.
Well, that's what's so crazy to me about some folks that don't want to, make investments in themselves, go to conferences, check out, sales seminars and things like that.
Read
It's
books.
or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
You're giving yourself an opportunity to have a paradigm shift, to have a positive evolution.
Yeah, man.
And because you're either going backwards or forwards, right? That's just something to keep in mind. And the way you can do that is by having grace with yourself. That's where it starts. And then when you have grace with yourself, it makes it easy to have grace with others. You're going to allow that person to evolve, but you're still going to hold them accountable at the same time.
Yeah, including yourself.
Oh, yeah,
Man
no
in the
doubt.
mirror.
Exactly. So to put a button on this thing, we want to allow people to evolve to a point. You still need to have the conversations that need to be had, okay? Critical conversations, right? There's some things where you got to hold people's feet to the fire, but you're still helping them in that evolution, right? So 3 reasons, again, we should allow people to evolve. Number 1, people can and do change for the better.
Yes, they do.
Number 2, most people possess the ability to reflect, and they often do, but are they doing it from a healthy place? You have to self-assess from a very good place and have grace with yourself. And lastly, grace is your saving grace. That's all tethered together in evolving from a good place, and realizing that we are perfectly imperfect. I think we forget that. That is the perfection in itself, is that we have the opportunity to grow and move forward, okay? But if you can move forward, you can certainly move backwards.
Yes, you can.
So
it's just be mindful of all of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Pay attention to what's going on in your head.
And really just surrender to the fact that it's one or the other. Forward or backward? Which way do you want to go? Keep moving forward this week. We want to see that evolution. Love yourself, and we'll catch you next time. I want to take a quick minute to thank our sponsor, ccmindiana.com, for all your mortgage needs. Very competitive, ready to rock, ready to help you be a pre-approved buyer that can compete. Ready to get pre-approved for your next mortgage? Stop by ccmindiana.com and see how we can help.